Hello again, it's time for my March book haul. This is what I bought in March. If you've watched my reading wrap-up for March, you can see I actually read a lot, so I buy a lot. So let me just cover these books that I picked up for the month of March. First one, I've already shown, was When Dimple Met Rishi. Obviously, you see I got it for a bargain price at Barnes & Noble. And I just wanted to pick up a light YA contemporary. I wanted to pick up something light since I read a lot of darker books. It would be nice to have something to break it up with. So let me read what it's about. Dimple Shah has it all figured out. With graduation behind her, she's more than ready for a break from her family and from Mama's inexplicable obsession with her finding the ideal Indian husband. Ugh. Dimple knows that they must respect her principles on some level though. If they truly believe she needs a husband right now, they would have paid for her to attend a summer program for aspiring web developers, right? Rishi Patel is a hopeless romantic. So when his parents tell him that he and his future wife will be attending the same summer program, wherein he'll have to woo her, he's totally on board because as silly as it sounds to most people in his life, Rishi wants to be arranged, believes in the power of tradition, stability, and being a part of something much bigger than himself. The Shahs and Patels didn't mean to start turning the wheels on this suggested arrangement so early in their children's lives, but when they noticed them both gravitating towards the same summer program, they figure, why not? Dimple and Rishi may think they have each other figured out, but when opposites clash, love works hard to prove itself in the most unexpected ways. So I've heard a lot of great things about this book. I am looking forward to reading it. Probably one of my first YA romance contemporary type books, and I'm looking forward to it. Next one, Children of Blood and Bone. I've heard a lot about this book as well. Zeli Adelbola remembers when the soul of Oshira hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, Tiders beckoned waves, and Zeli's Reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed once magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, the Magi were targeted and killed, leaving Zeli without a mother and her people without hope. Now Zeli has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarch. With the help of a rogue princess, Zeli must outwit and outrun the crown prince who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. Danger lurks in Oshira where snow leopards prowl and vengeful spirits wait in their waters. Yet the greatest threat may be Zeli's herself as she struggles to control her powers and her growing feelings for an enemy. This has an interesting inside cover. I really like that. Of course, it has a wonderful map that you can see there. And I'm looking forward to this. Next one is Cruel Prince. Don't worry, they're not all YA. This is Cruel Prince by Holly Black. A fairy story that, again, I've heard a lot about. It's a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which has this wonderful etching here. They do make these books pretty. I don't think I have to tell you what it's about. I think a lot of people have talked about it, and I'm not going to read everything here. Next book I got is The Hazelwood, another YA book that there's a lot of people talking about, and I want to just read about it. It's basically about a fairy tale world that woman's grandmother used to write about, and I guess her mother gets abducted, so it should be interesting. And the next two books I got from Barnes & Noble were on sale. I picked these up. They're both from Danielle Vega, who wrote The Merciless, which I actually just finished reading and I love. So I am glad that I found this, Merciless 2, in hardcover in a good price. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one. And the other one by Danielle Vega, Survive the Night, really cool. Just back from rehab, Casey regrets letting her friends Shayna, Julia, and Aya talk her into coming to survive the night. An all-night underground rave in New York City subway tunnels, surrounded by frightening drugs and menacing strangers. Casey doesn't think Survive the Night could get any worse until she comes across Julia's mutilated body in a dank black subway tunnel. Red-eyed rats nibbling at her fingers. Casey thought she was just off with some guy. No one could hear her getting torn apart over the sound of pulsing music, and by the time they get back to the party, everyone is gone. Desperate for help, Casey and her friends find themselves running through the putrid subway system, searching for a way out, but every manhole is sealed shut, and every noise echoes eerily in the dark, reminding them they're not alone. They're being hunted, trapped underground with someone or something out to get them. Casey can't help but listen to Anya's terrifying refrain, "We're all gonna die down here." Sounds good, and if it's anything like Merciless was pretty vicious too, so I'm looking forward to this. Next book I got is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. If you know, meddling kids is usually what they used to say in Scooby-Doo. You know, those meddling kids. And this is kind of an homage to Scooby-Doo, not a Scooby-Doo story, but definitely takes tropes from it. And it says, with raucous humor and brilliantly orchestrated mayhem, meddling kids subverts teen detective archetypes like the Hardy Boys, the Famous Five, and Scooby-Doo, and delivers an exuberant and wickedly entertaining celebration of horror, love, friendship, and many tentacled interdimensional demon spawns. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Shaggy's probably looking forward to this. I told you I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan. This is going to be a book I'm going to love to read. Next book, I've heard Chase Rollins talking about it, and a couple other booktubers who read it, who gave it some really rave reviews, which is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira. Several years ago, the Atar goddess set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a tragedy. Now a new crew have been assembled, but this time they're not out to entertain. Some seek to validate their life's work. Some seek the greatest hunt of all. Some seek the truth. But for ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. Whatever the truth may be, it will only be found below the waves. This is going to be the third book I've read about the Mariana Trench. I read Meg, I read The Deep, and now I'm reading this one. That's a very popular subject in books, especially horror books. Next one, Kill Creek. At the end of a dark prairie road, nearly forgotten in the Kansas countryside, is the Finch House. For years it has remained empty, overgrown, and abandoned. Soon the doors will be opened for the first time in decades. But something is waiting, lurking in the shadows, anxious to meet its new guests. When best-selling horror author Sam McGarver is invited to spend Halloween night in one of the world's most infamous haunted houses, he reluctantly agrees. At least he won't be alone. Joining him are three other masters of the macabre, writers who have helped shape modern horror. What begins as a simple publicity stunt will become a fight for survival. The entity they have awakened will follow them, torment them, threaten to make them a part of the bloody legacy of Kill Creek. Definitely sounds like a good book. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I am looking forward to it. That's Kill Creek. Another book, Bird Box by Josh Malerman. Another book I have heard great things about, and it has this wonderful illustrated cover. One glimpse and a person is driven to deadly violence. Okay, so they basically go crazy from whatever they see. Mother and children who have to travel blindfolded through the world, and it sounds like it's a really good book. And like I said, a lot of people have given some high praise to this book, so I am looking forward to it. Bird Box. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady, Hendrix. Another, I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of story, obviously about an exorcism. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've heard a lot of good things about this book. Bentley Little's The Association. I found this on Thrift Books pretty cheap, and I'm definitely going to be on a Bentley Little kick for a while. So I picked up a couple of his books, but this is one I picked up before I picked up that big horror book haul. I'm looking forward to reading this. And of course, if you've seen my March wrap-up, you know that after Cinder ended, I was really hyper because it kind of ended unresolved in my mind, so I had to pick up the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, which is Scarlet, to follow the story along. Final Girls by Riley Sager. I can't believe I actually haven't picked this up for such a long time, but I found it at a really nice price. I decided to pick it up. I've heard a lot of good things about it. The fifth book, The Mortal Instruments, and I got this in hardcover. I usually actually prefer hardcover to paperback, and I am definitely looking forward to reading this, and then the sixth book when I finish this one, to get the Mortal Instruments series at least done. And that's it for my book haul. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon.